The fast food restaurant chain McDonald's has been in the news a bit lately. You may be surprised that a wellness podcast is going to talk about a place known for its big hamburgers and French fries. You will soon understand why. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Wishing You Well podcast, and I am your host, Maria Patrick. I am a health coach who specializes in helping people improve their health and well-being through nutrition. If you've been with me before, you know that I'm always looking for stories to help us and to inspire us on our journey to living healthier, better, and longer lives. If you are a new listener, welcome. So happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. I come to you once a week with inspiration. So you may have heard about the fact that McDonald's, like so many other fast food restaurants, has just reported that their sales are down globally. McDonald's had its earnings call the other day, and they shared the news that worldwide sales have declined. This is the first time for the company that sales have dropped since the pandemic in 2020. But now inflation is hitting people very hard, and consumers are having to make choices. They're either skipping eating out altogether, or they're looking for cheaper options. And for the second quarter of this year, April to June period, McDonald's reported a decline globally. You also may be aware, and this was also recently in the news, that McDonald's just introduced a $5 value meal in order to bring customers back. They made the headlines when they introduced this $5 meal deal, which was a very strategic move in response to customer complaints that everything had gotten so expensive and that there was sticker shock at the registers when people were checking out and realizing that a meal of a couple of fish fillets or a burger and fries was costing them multiple times more than they'd ever pay for it. So McDonald's, in the interest of attracting back their customers and increasing foot traffic, they've offered this limited time offer. They actually launched it last month and they just extended it, which includes for $5 a sandwich, chicken nuggets, fries, and a drink. So this motivation behind this meal deal is to bring back the consumers, particularly ones from lower income households who've cut back on dining out or have stopped going to McDonald's, to come back so that McDonald's can remain competitive. Perhaps you also heard the news that for the first time ever, McDonald's has introduced a burger that is even bigger than their Big Mac. It's known as the Big Arches. The CEO of the company said that they launched a trial of this bigger burger, trying to make something that's more satiating for their customers. The Big Arch, as it's been come to be known, consists of 2 beef patties, 3 slices of cheese, a new sauce that they've introduced called the Big Arch sauce, which I guess is a tangy orange sauce, as it's been described. And it means that this new burger weighs in at 14 ounces and contains 1,065 calories. The CEO said that McDonald's has tried to continue being innovative. They want to address unmet customer needs. They want to provide this more satiating burger, and they want to provide great value for the money. This burger, Big Arches, also contains crispy onions, raw onions, pickles, lettuce, all of which is on their famous sesame seed bun. The CEO said it's quintessential McDonald's burger with a twist on their iconic familiar flavors, and they're hoping that this will appeal to consumers. They are describing this as large burger equity. So while all of this recent McDonald's news is interesting. And I would love to, as your health coach, give you all the reasons why I think you should stay away from the $5 meal and not even think about trying one of those over 1,000 calorie Big Arches burgers. Today I want to talk to you about another development that put McDonald's in the headlines. After 40 years on the menu, McDonald's has dropped their salads. Apparently no one but me was ordering them. Actually, truth be told, I stopped ordering them after McDonald's had their E. coli problem with the salads back in the summer of 2018. The McDonald's salad has had its ups and downs over the years, and that's not just in the sales department. Customers complained over the years about the chicken having too many processed ingredients, about the chicken being drenched in clarified butter, the lack of nutritional content because the salad was filled with only iceberg lettuce. There was concerns about the freshness and also concerns about the expiration dates. So the salad evolved. Just like their burgers have evolved, the salad evolved over the years. We witnessed McDonald's adding in the dark leafy greens, such as spinach and kale. They added in, or at least they tried to add in, some colorful veggies like the carrot curls. And yet, despite the fact that McDonald's boasted that the salad contains over 2 cups of antioxidant vegetables, when you add in the fried chicken and the creamy dressings, the salad ended up being higher in calories, fat, sugar, and sodium than a Quarter Pounder with cheese. So despite all of their efforts with evolving the salad over the years, when McDonald's recently announced that they will stop offering the salads on their menus, the news was met with mixed reactions. People were concerned that even though they or their family and friends go to McDonald's for the signature burgers and fries, that for McDonald's to get rid of their healthiest menu option seemed like the wrong way to go. The reason why they made this move may surprise you. The McDonald's salads, like the Southwest grilled chicken salad or the side salad, require the fast food chain to purchase massive quantities of the different type of lettuce than the kind they use to garnish the burgers and the sandwiches with. So the company, in eliminating the salads, was in an effort to save money. The Washington Post reported that restaurants like McDonald's are doing this to slim down their menus in the name of efficiency. And so McDonald's, instead of needing to purchase multiple kinds of lettuce, one for the salads and two for the salads and one for the sandwiches, they now only need one type of lettuce. So in hindsight, such a menu move makes sense, but it's still a disappointing change because despite the calorie content, you could say that the McDonald's salads were still the healthiest option being offered there. And it really would be great to see McDonald's reinstate, if not the salad, something more nutritious food options for their customers. But I entitled this podcast, McDonald's has dropped the salads and you should too. And you might be wondering why I think that ditching salads is a great idea. And I understand your confusion because several years ago, actually 10 years ago now, I went to see a Chinese medicine doctor and she told me that I should stop eating so many salads. And I was shocked. So here's the reasoning behind this dramatic suggestion. From traditional Chinese wisdom, the belief is that we should live in harmony with the seasons. That's the core, fundamental principle of nutrition from a Chinese medicine perspective. It's based on the principle that when you live in harmony with your nature and the nature around you and your environment, that your internal systems, your digestive system and cardiovascular system and others will be in harmony as well. Traditional Chinese medicine is a system of medicine that's rooted in prevention, not responding to your symptoms, but preventing them from ever happening. So this ancient wisdom uses food and the healing properties of certain foods to help us to build up your body when it's deficient, to cleanse your body when it's toxic, to release from your body things that are in excess. And when you don't follow the basic principle of eating with the seasons, your organs start to get impacted. They might not be as strong. Your mind might not be as clear. You might not have as much energy. And traditional medicine wants the body to be in harmony, body, mind, and spirit, in order to live long, happy, and healthy lives. So in Chinese medicine, common recommendation is to avoid eating too many raw foods. Raw foods and cold foods like salads and the vegetables that are uncooked and put in the salads are considered cooling, and they can dampen your digestive fire. It's akin to throwing wet logs on your campfire. When you eat a lot of raw foods, particularly like I was doing in excess, you can damage your digestive chi, your digestive energy, your digestive fire. And you're going to end up with the kind of symptoms that I was experiencing, like bloating, diarrhea, and your body feeling cold all the time. When we feed our body with cooked foods, warm foods, these foods are more digestible, and the nutrients in those foods are more easily absorbed into your body. So over the years, I've gone through periods where I was eating salads all of the time, many times per day. And I eventually developed poor digestion and pain. And when I went to see the Chinese medicine doctor for the first time 10 years ago, one of the first questions she asked me was if I was eating a lot of salads. I was shocked when she told me that that was the wrong idea, but she did go on to explain that I didn't need to eliminate cold and raw foods completely, but that I needed to make sure that I balanced them with cooked or warm foods. So the point was, eating just a salad itself for lunch or dinner was not the proper way to go. Cold and raw foods, they're not only better consumed in the summertime when the environment around you is also warm, but they should be combined with foods that have warming properties so that your digestive fire will be engaged, and therefore you'll be able to properly digest and absorb your food and its nutrients. Chinese nutrition classifies foods according to several different components: their temperature, their taste, and their ability to strengthen your body. So where I live, we are in the season of summer, and so traditional Chinese medicine practitioners would recommend during the summer months to increase the intake of cooling foods, foods that are considered yin instead of yang, and that in doing so, you would disperse the heat in your body, you would reduce the toxins in your body, and you'll reduce the buildup of excess bodily fluids. So you want to go not necessarily for all raw, cold foods, but foods that are considered lighter and have cooling properties. So examples of these are vegetables, cooked, fish, and other seafood. Even though they will be cooked, they're considered cooling. Most meats, on the other hand, are considered warming. So not a good idea to eat a lot of meat in the summer. The best cooling foods are cucumbers, leafy greens, watercress, beans, and watermelon. Like I said just before, we'll want to avoid this time of year foods that are going to add more heat to your system. So heavy, greasy, fried foods, excessive alcohol. These are all things that you would want to avoid this type of year. So overconsumption of the cold foods as well as the warming foods can be a problem for you because they can lead to digestive difficulties. It's all about balance. So if you eat out in any Asian restaurants, you probably come to quickly realize that the preference is to eat cooked food, to drink warm water or liquids, and to avoid raw salads, a lot of fruit, and fruit juices, which are considered very cold and not good for your digestion. We need to start viewing our stomach as what it is. It's a vessel or a pot that needs to cook the food. And this is really important in order to separate the toxins from the foods, the excess waters from the foods, and for our body to be able to extract the nutrients. Our body needs to be able to transform the food into usable nutrients for our cells. Your cells are dependent upon this. They're dependent on you to have a strong digestive fire to cook the foods and ensure that that transformation is completed, because otherwise your body is going to be working overtime, which is what leads to the pain, constipation, bloating, even gas. So we want to do things that are going to support our digestive fire, maintain a healthy and balanced body. Think about anything that you've ever cooked on the stovetop. If you have too much water in your rice or your oatmeal, it's not going to cook. It's going to be very watery, very thin. It's going to take a long time to cook up, and you're basically going to be eating something it's uncooked or akin to raw. It will take a long time for that food not only to cook on the stove, but then to have that transformation inside your body. It'll cause dampness and bloating inside your body. On the other hand, if you have excess fire, I used to cook things at a really high heat. You boil away the water essence of the food and you end up burning things. Things are crispier, things are drier. They're going to be more creating heat and dryness in your body as well. So the idea here is simple, really. We want to get just the right combination of ingredients. We want the water and the fire of our foods to be so perfectly balanced that the process works inside our body so perfectly. That would be your digestive process working at its highest level of efficiency. So now you can see why when I met with that Chinese medicine doctor 10 years ago, when I started the transformation for the better of my health, that I was taught, I learned, and I've kept it in the forefront of my mind all these years. And it was one of the catalysts for me wanting to become a health coach and a Chinese medicine practitioner through Qigong to be able to help other people transform their health. I learned the fundamental principle that for your digestive system to work properly, it needs just the right amount of heat and warmth. We are warm-blooded people, and in order for our digestion to be optimized, we need the foods to be a slightly higher temperature than our body temperature. So this is why, like McDonald's, we should be ditching the salads, or at least just eating them as a side to warm foods that are going to be already cooked and easily digestible by the body. And therefore, we are going to have energy in our digestive organs, energy in our body, and our bodies won't have to waste valuable energy in order to raise the temperature of the food in order to allow our digestive processes to work. The best idea would be to stick to eating a diet of slow-cooked grains, stir-fried vegetables, small amounts of meat, root vegetable soups, and to find a smaller place and role in our diet for raw, cold foods. We want to eat cooling foods, like I said, in the summer. And it's especially important when you're extremely active to keep your body cool. But we want to make sure that our meals are not entirely raw salad meals. One of the things that I mention quite a bit, not only to you, my listeners, but to myself on a regular basis, is that we need to avoid drinking big glasses of cold water with our meals or even immediately after our meals. You want to sip a small amount while you eat, and it's better to sip room temperature water or tea. And what could really be helpful for digestion, especially if you have had digestive problems, is to consume a light soup with your meal. This is a great way to make sure that you have that balance that we've been talking about. Another important thing to remember, and I have talked about this in a previous podcast or two, is that moderate exercise, particularly walking, is beneficial to do right after a meal. It's what we are designed to do. And there is an ancient proverb that, when translated from Chinese into English, says, "She or he who walks 99 steps after each meal will live to be 100." So when we think about the no salads and trying to avoid a lot of fruit and raw vegetables, let's not get discouraged. Let's just follow the tips from the Asian way of cooking and eating, and try to eat lots of cooked vegetables that are warm temperature, less fruit, which is raw and cool, and to follow the seasons. If you don't believe anything I've said up to this point, try it for yourself. Eat nothing but fruit and salad for a few days and see what happens to your body. Examine your stools. When was the last time someone told you that? Take a close look. And if things start to become irregular, if you're getting constipated or you're getting loose, or if you end up seeing undigested food, and if you end up feeling bloated and gassy, or you have pains as your food is digesting, realize that your digestion is not working as well as it should. Our bodies want to be healthy, and we need to give it its best shot so that we can stay well. We have the information, we have the inspiration. Let's make the right choices to live a healthier and happier life with stronger digestion to help us. McDonald's has dropped the salads, and we should too. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in today. I'm always grateful for your time. I appreciate you taking me with you, listening to this podcast as you're doing other things. I hope we continue the conversation, continue working together on this wellness journey. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. I am wishing you well.